everyone? It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, in the house with another quick short video for you guys today, man. But before we get into it, make sure if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so now. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so NFL Divisional Round playoffs is here. Wild card is over. A lot of great games last week, but this weekend is going to be serving up a lot of great football that I'm just excited about it. So let's just talk about the first game out the gate. So we got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off a thrilling come-from-behind win against the LA Chargers. They're traveling to Kansas City to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, who are looking and primed to go for it, to go all the way, to win the Super Bowl. Jacksonville is young, led by a Trevor Lawrence, who a lot arguably think he's one of the better quarterbacks, better quarterbacks in the league now, going up against the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Patrick Mahomes, NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, everything that you can name of, Andy Reid, just the whole Kansas City mystique, right? I think it's going to serve too much for them, even though I like the Jacksonville Jaguars moving forward with their coaching staff, their talent that they have on the field. But in the end, the Chiefs have just been there, done that before, and they're at home, and that's a tough place to play. And I think they're going to get that dub. I mean, I know Trevor Lawrence was stating in the media saying that Jacksonville is just as loud as Arrowhead. I don't think so. And these two teams played earlier in the year, and it was pretty much a easy game for the Chiefs. So I like the Chiefs to roll in that game. All right, moving on, the other AFC battle. This is going to be a big one. I can't believe this is a divisional round game. We got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Buffalo Bills. Now, these two teams just recently kind of lined up a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to play the whole game because of Damar Hamlin. Thoughts and prayers go out to him. But they played for about, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Bengals were leading that game in the first quarter before they, called it a quits. I don't think this is going to be an upset. I'm going to pick the Bengals, but this is why. I feel like Joe Burrow is just too cool, man. I trust him more than I do Josh Allen at the end of the day. And considering the Bills have to struggle at home to beat out Skylar Thompson and the Miami Dolphins, what do you think the Bengals are going to do when Joe Burrow comes into town, right? This is not Skylar Thompson, Buffalo. This is Joe Burrow, a guy that was literally one pass away from winning the Super Bowl. I like the Bengals to win this game. I think in the end, Josh Allen's going to make a big mistake, and it's going to prove to everyone that he's good. He's good, but he doesn't protect the ball the way he needs to as a quarterback. I like Cincinnati winning that game in quote-unquote what is called an upset. All right, NFC matchup, we got the Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. They had a nice little break there. They were off 1 week due to the bye. Giants coming off a pretty solid win in Minnesota, a team that which I think most of America picked the Giants to beat the Vikings. The Vikings suck, flat out. They were a fraud at number 3. I mean, only Vikings fans picked the Vikings to win last week. And I don't even think Vikings fans really knew in their heart that they probably were going to win that game. But nonetheless, Giants played really, really complimentary football. Daniel Jones looked pretty good. Brian Daboll has got to be the coach of the year. But I think this week, it's a tougher task. You're going on the road. It's outdoors. The Eagles are primed. Now, I know the Eagles are having some injury issues, especially on the line itself. I believe Lane Johnson is out, or he may be coming back. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But I know on the D-line, they're mixing some guys there too. But I think they still just have enough in the end to eke out a victory over the Giants and claim their spot in the NFC Conference Championship game. So I like the Eagles to win that game. All right. And finally, the last game of the weekend, probably the biggest game of the weekend, the Dallas Cowboys heading to California to take on the San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a matchup. Now, these two teams have a historical rivalry that dates back to the 80s, right? Joe Montana days. Then you have the Troy Aikman games. And then, obviously, these two teams just played last year in that debacle of a game, late in that game with the Cowboys trying to come back from behind. They ended up running the QB draw with like 9 seconds left. We all know the story, especially as Cowboys fans. That's the story we kind of want to forget. Cowboys now heading to California. The Niners are a team that a lot of people did not want to see. But you know what? After looking over everything, I'm not going to take anything away from the Niners. I think they are a solid team. But at the end of the day, they still have Brock Purdy as the quarterback. Now, I know he's undefeated. Kyle Shanahan has put him in tremendous situations to be successful. But I think Dallas can match up with them. The biggest thing that's going to stand out is in the trenches. Who's going to be more physical? Now, we know the Niners are known for being bullies in the trenches. That's what they do. That's their brand of football, right? They're very physical. They hit you in the mouth, and they don't even ask names, okay? The Cowboys can kind of be inconsistent, right? Cowboys will look good one week, and then next week you'll be like, what are they doing? Like I always tell my Cowboy fans and friends, look, the Cowboys can beat anyone, but they'll lose to everyone, or they can lose to everyone. But if they're rolling, now, this is not Tampa Bay you're playing this week. You're playing a formidable team on the road. However, it's in California, and we know that the Cowboys fans do travel. Now, I've seen online prices low to highest. The lowest ticket amount was $499, so $500 to $18,000. Trust me, Dallas Cowboy fans will represent, and they'll be in the stands in Santa Clara. Trust me. Now, it'll still be more Niner fans, but there will be a good majority of Cowboys fans. So, crowd noise, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I still like Dak Prescott over Brock Purdy. My biggest concern is the trenches and in-game decision-making by the coaching staff of the Dallas Cowboys. But offensively, we have just as many stars as they do. CeeDee Lamb coming into his own. Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, sprinkle him in there a little bit. Dalton Schultz, he's emerging a little bit, right? Offensive line playing pretty good football, right? Defensively, we got guys. Micah Parsons, we still have Lawrence out there, right? LVE's playing pretty good. Javon Curse, even though he has a knee injury, he can still, if he's out there, he'll be able to match up hopefully a little bit enough to keep up with George Kittle. So it's just going to boil down to the trench play and who can be more physical to who. So with that said, I know I was long-winded on that one, but listen, this is probably the biggest game of the weekend. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys in an upset. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be a high-scoring event, and I think the Cowboys will just have enough to go on the road and earn their spot in the NFC Conference Championship game. So those are my picks. I got the Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles, and Cowboys, right? So we'll see what happens this weekend. It's going to be a great week of football, or weekend of football. Make sure you guys enjoy, and look out for my next video next week as I talk about and break down the Conference Championship games. That's all I got. This is Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Let's go.